All right, I got another book review. This one is on uh, screen addiction, screen detox, whatever you want to call it, screen agers. The name of it is, I'll hold it up. You'll see it on the screen there, Glow Kids by Dr. Nicholas Kardaras. He must be Greek, this guy. He's a doctor out in the Hamptons, and I believe his background is alcohol and drug addiction. But what do you know? He sees over the last 15 years another addiction rear its head, and it has the addiction to screens has all the same characteristics, all the same features, drawbacks as alcohol and drugs. Only it actually can be worse because people are underestimating how bad these screens are. And this book, I would say, is in the same vein as Dr. Dunkley's Reset Your Brain. Uh, I will have a link to that one in the description as well. That has been my top recommendation when it comes to anti-screen books because we need to read them. We are all of us, underestimating how bad these screens are for our kids. That's from television to iPads to iPhones to video games, even to so-called educational games. And Dr. Kardaras, in his book here, he does rip apart educational establishment and how they are forcing screens on kids. In other words, a parent told me the other day that at their school they give all the kids a Chromebook when they're in first grade, and there are many other schools that try to give every kid an iPad. And the reality is that these kids are using the Chromebooks and the iPads to play video games, and they're using it to constantly bombard each other with cruel text messages and all the other bad things that happen with screens. Now, real quick, let me just tell you, in case you're new to my shtick or to Dr. Kardaras' shtick, the problem with screens is that it has well, there are many problems, but you can see this picture of this kid here. His head is 2 inches from the screen. He's probably not blinking. His posture is a disaster. He's going to get text neck. He's inside. He's gaining weight. And what the screens do to our minds is they overstimulate our brain with all the beeping and flashing and alerting and jumping from here to there to there. We are hyper arousing our brain. We are manipulating the fight or flight response that we have. And our brain is not used to being stimulated that much. And so it's just not able to handle it. And a whole bunch of negative things happen as a result. And they are biochemical things, hormonal things that happen within the body. For one thing, the hyperarousal destroys sleep. Okay, so even if you do get to sleep after playing video games or after surfing the web all night, your sleep is not going to be nearly sufficient. It's not going to be a high quality sleep. So, sleep deprivation, and you can read all about it. I mean, it's in the torture manual. Sleep deprivation is a real problem whenever it exists. The other thing that it does is, like I said, it manipulates your hormones and actually makes kids and adults crave foods they shouldn't be eating, like carbs. So look, you got this device. It's destroying your eyesight, your posture. It's destroying your socialization. It's pushing you away from books, from working with your hands, and it's ruining your sleep. And on top of all that, it's going to make you fat because you're not exercising, but also because it's going to aggravate your diet or make your diet much worse. I mean, I'm only 4 minutes into this video. I could go on and on and on. It's a huge, huge topic. How your family, how you as a parent, how any society handles technology right now might be the number one determinant of success or failure. And sadly, it looks like there's a whole lot of failure going on out there everywhere. Like every time I meet with a family and there's a kid who's underperforming or misbehaving or flat out miserable, overweight, whatever, there's always screens involved. I've never ever once met a screen-free family that didn't have issues. And these things are insidious. You can't go anywhere. You can't go to the dentist's office without having a television on. Anytime you send your kids, these to a birthday party, it's at a video game playing place. And if the kids go in the backyard or around the corner and play with the neighbor's kids, those kids have devices out. It is very, very hard to keep your kids away from devices. It's very hard to keep ourselves away from them. I mean, this stuff that goes on the on social media, the headlines they throw at us in the new, even in ESPN or Drudge Report, all these sensational headlines, they grab us. They're designed to grab us. I just want to wrap it up here because this is 5 minutes. There's one thing in this book where they talk about the neuroscientists or neurobiologists who work with the video game makers. And what they do is they strap all the monitoring equipment on kids as they test the games. And if these kids' heart rate doesn't get up to a certain level and their stress doesn't get up to a certain level, they tweak the game to try to figure out how to make it more stressful and more intense. And so there are billions and billions of dollars, all the best psychology, if we can call it best, psychological tricks out there to try to make these games addictive. I mean, they're figuring out what color and how to give us our Facebook alerts based on which we most responded to. I mean, this stuff, the people that makes these devices, they don't care whether we socialize, they don't care whether we're in shape, they don't care whether we talk to our spouse or talk to our kids. And if you're a kid, they don't care whether you do well in school or not. All they want you to do is stay glued to that device. It's like being in the casino with no clocks around, giving you free alcohol and keeping it cold or whatever these other tactics they do. Or is it warm? I'm not sure. Whatever these tactics they do to addict us. And so this is the reality out there. And so this type of book like this is a big deal. And I would encourage anyone who's serious about themselves and life and health to check it out. I dare you to read one of these books. I dare you to look at your own screen habits. Say the average person gets 150 emails a day, and the average person unlocks their phone 150 times a day. So I recently installed an app on my phone. Once I hear that the average person does something, I installed an app. It's called Realized, Relizd, I think. And it counts how many times, I open my phone or not. Let me just see. I'll pull it up right now. Let me just see. I just want to get way below that number. And I try to not look at my phone. Somebody that I follow online said that the new cool is can you not look at your phone? I totally agree with him. I think I said it before him though. So yesterday I picked up my phone. I don't know if you can see this, 37 times. I'll just try to hold it up in case you can see it. 37 times, 43 times the day before, 35, 48. So I'm around 40 times a day. The average is 150. Whatever your number is, try to track it and try to cut it down. All right. That's long enough for this book review. Definitely check out Glow Kids and definitely check out Reset Your Child's Brain by Victoria. You'll see a link in the description down below. Thanks.